All right, let's get started. How's everybody out there feeling today, man? I am tired. Had a late night. A lot of you saw what the night was like. Had a nap, woke up right before the show. I was like, man, it's time to go live. So let's get going. Let's get going. Yeah, we've already got guys lined up, ready to go. We've got raring to go today. We have Mr. R2, R3. Uh-oh.
Hey,
what's going on, man? You catching up today too, huh?
I heard nap, and I'm like,
right? Yeah, it's been a lazy morning for me today, so I'm ready to go. Hey, we got somebody else here raring to go. We have Mr. Symmetry Trev. Welcome in, brother.
Cheers, everybody.
yo.
Trev, I think is you know, he was up all night. I don't think he's moved from the same spot.
I'm going.
Yeah, he's still at it. He's raring to go, man.
It's a long weekend up here.
Right. It's a two for weekend is what you call it, right?
Yeah.
What is that? What is that about?
2-4. The 2-4 thing, or what?
Yeah,
the weekends for?
Yeah.
I'm not really sure where the roots of that came from. Letter Kenny, I think.
So, what is the actual holiday going on up there for us?
Queen Victoria's birthday.
Okay. All
Queen
right.
Vicky.
Something like that. It's Victoria Day.
So the 2 for weekend, I think, comes from a 24 pack of beer, right?
Beer.
Yeah. See, I know a little bit about what's going on. All right, what am I doing? I'm trying to figure out where I'm at here. I'm all discombobulated. I didn't have control last night, so I was kind of along for the ride. So I'm like, oh, what am I doing here? All right, let me get over here. Okay, let's get to the chat and let's see who's here. We have Rob Blackmore official, who might be jumping in a little bit later.
What's up, Rob?
I think he's got a couple things to talk about and show us, so we'll wait for him to jump in. We got Stephen Franklin is here. What's going on, Mr. Franklin? Kurt 5150. Kurt, is he still here? He just do a drive-by.
No, he's still here.
In the chat a minute ago.
Is he? All right, cool. We got Ronald Young. What's going on, Ronald? Hair the dog? Yes, sir. Ryan Hall. Welcome in, another Ryan. Let's see who else we got. Six Fingered. He was awake all night, I think, doing some drum skins. I saw something on, was it Facebook? I saw him posting. Patty Dill. There's Patty Dill in the chat. How's it going, Patty?
In the chat.
Enjoyed seeing you last night. You hung out for the whole show. We appreciate you showing up, showing some support for us, Patty. So welcome in today. Let's see. Who else we got? Did I say Six Fingered? Yeah, I already did. Let's see. Who else?
In the morning.
Jimmy Ray Hawkins is here. What's going on, man?
Jimmy Ray.
Good to see you.
Oh, Jimmy Ray.
Dan Gorman is here saying awesome.
Yo.
I think he's talking about your beard, Trev. Awesome beard, maybe? I don't know. William De Silva's here. Welcome in, William. Good to see you.
Yo.
L&M Guitar Corner. How's it going?
Yeah.
Man? Is this L or is it M? Usually it's M when it's L&M, right?
And then
Yeah.
if it's Lucas, it'll be Lucas of L&M Guitar.
Okay, cool. So welcome in, Martin. We got Patrick Trites. Welcome in.
Yo.
Let's see. Donald Young there. Who else we got? Geeter 1952 is here. Welcome in. Let's see. Anybody else? Hip
John
Metal
Deshane
Works.
just
What's
snuck in.
going on, man? Welcome
man?
in. John Deshane popping in. Trev just changed his shirt and kept going. That's right. John, you jumping in today or what you got going on? John has the link and he should be ready to go. Guitar Man 45, who, hey, Bo, have you heard something about some kind of pedal that EVH released? I don't know.
Something like that.
Something. Yeah. Let's see. Stephen Franklin. Did we say hey to Stephen already? I think so.
It was early.
Hey again. There he is. Kurt 5150 still chatting in here.
Let me kick out that "You're My Boy Blue" tag on my name. I'm
Yeah.
just gonna leave that.
It's still there. Still there. Let's see. We got Ronald, then we have Donald. Awesome show last night. Thank you. Yep. Throw some love over to the boys at Under the Bus Network. Got Sean Hockey filing in. Welcome
Yo.
in, Sean.
What's up, man?
Great show. I watched the after show. Did we stream the after show?
Oh,
Uh-oh. That's bad news there. Bad news for us. James G. last night was cool. I didn't know about Under the Bus. See, there we go. We spreading the love. That was the whole purpose of the cross stream, kind of introduce you guys to some channels maybe you haven't found yet. So I think we got everybody in the chat so far. We'll keep an eye out for newcomers. What's going on today, man? What's different from last night? Anything happened today, this morning with you guys?
Well, it's about 10 degrees cooler out here today, so I'll take that.
So you're not sweating in the hot box out there. You know, I jumped on and I was watching Pete Thorne a little bit this morning, and I know you were there, Trev, and I'm pretty sure that John was there. I saw a couple of his chats get brought up for questions to be answered. I'd asked a question in the chat that Pete didn't see, or he didn't get to, or he didn't, feel like answering. Who knows? But I had asked in the chat, and you guys in the chat here chime in with your thoughts. The new EVH SDE 3000 pedal, the new, delay pedal that they've come up with that mimics or replaces or is the copy of the SDE 3000 and improved. I presented the question, do you think that Edward, if he was alive today, would switch over to that pedal? So, I don't know. What do you think, R2?
I think he would.
You think so?
Yeah, because he was using all the other pedals. Mm-hmm. All the MXR pedals out there.
Yeah. Well, there was the talk about, he has tried other stuff in the past and continued to go back to the rack units because they had that, specific thing that he was looking for. Do you think that they got it close enough? Or maybe if he was still around, he would have continued to have them tweak on it,
Right. I think he would take him on tour,
Mm-hmm.
He was
Crash
digging.
test them,
Yeah.
see how they do.
Make sure they last.
I wonder if it would have come out to another way that he was setting up his rig different than what he was doing before. Obviously we'll never know, but just kind of curious, something to think about. Would he have actually changed over, or would he have been, hey, this is a facsimile of my rig that I'm still going to use, that kind of thing. I'm just curious about that. Let's see what you guys in the chat are thinking. Sean Hockey is talking about, no, I meant the show after it ended. Please don't pull me behind the shed. Yeah, we'll let you slide on that one. Donald said the Boss pedal, he would love to have it. Wouldn't we all? Mm-hmm. Let's see. Yeah, Kurt. Glad we didn't stream the after show. It could have been bad.
Some of the
Yeah, there
filters
we go.
come
Bo
off.
has pre-ordered the thing. August delivery. Very cool.
August.
Wow.
Did Bo get his H90? He must have gotten it by now, right?
I don't know.
Like last Tuesday or something.
Maybe he'll chime in and let us know. Donald says he thinks that Eddie would have liked it. So James G says, yep, I think probably he would have used it.
Yeah.
Charles 75N. Hey now.
Hey now.
Charles 75N had his first show this morning.
Live stream.
What was it called? Guitar Safari.
That's right.
They take a safari to find guitars kind of hidden in eBay ads and Craigslist ads, I think.
Right.
So everybody check out Charles's channel and give him a like and help him get rolling. He's trying to give it a go on the live streams. So as long as he doesn't schedule anything at the same time as me. Show some support for Charles 75N. Go give him a like and a sub and check out his channel. Stephen Franklin says he would have tweaked it. I'm kind of that camp right now. From what I've heard of the pedal comparatively to, I think Anderton's had an actual SDE 3000 and they were A-Bing. And the EVH pedal sounded way brighter to me, which is one of the things that I've always liked about the SDE 3000 rack unit, is it's got a warmer sound. It's got its own thing, and that's what I really like about it. And I think that's probably what Ed liked about it too. I don't know, but that's my thought on it. Mm-hmm. Let's see. Ed's tech Tom Weber told me he wouldn't put anything out with his name on it that he wouldn't use, including the stock stuff. So there we go. But at the same time, that's a piece of gear that's come out after Ed has passed. So would it have been good enough for him? I guess that's my question, is the iteration that they're putting out, would that have been good enough for him? Or would he have said, nope, it's still got too much, top end on it. Back to the bench and figure that out. Or were they like, that's pretty close, and to our ears, it sounds good enough. And would Ed's ears have been like, nope, still got this to work on?
I'm thinking Pete Thorne will take it out,
Yeah, I'm sure he'll probably have one on his board soon.
And if there's something that he's out there playing a show that he doesn't like, maybe he can tweak it. I mean, he had help in, not designing it, but
some input.
Yeah, he got some input from other areas. Yeah,
that he put some input in there.
Ryan Hall says, I believe he would try it and test them out, and he would have put his word in. Yeah, for sure. Yep. Let's see. Steve Franklin says, I think it was an affordable alternative that Ed would like to have offered. And that, that could have been a case too. The SD 3000s now, they're relatively affordable. It's just a matter of finding them.
Yeah.
Everybody out there that would want one, there's just not enough of them out there for everybody. So
I'm just thinking there's a lot of people don't want to use racks anymore. I don't know.
Yep. Well, in my case, it's likely never going to leave that corner over there. So what do I care?
So I started thinking about this. I started thinking about what you were saying. So if you yourself have the rack unit and you know what it should sound like, and then you purchase that delay pedal and you go, something's a little off. Sounds good. Sounds a little brighter. But the rest of us don't have that capability of A and Bing the device. And I'll use like the ADA as an example. I start seeing these ADA plugins. And everyone's like, oh my gosh, the ADA, bring back the 80s, the, Skid Row and Vito Bratta and who else? Countless others that were using the Nuno, exactly, to get the Nuno sound. And, you just kind of remember, I've had that unit for so long, and when you hear it, I sit there and go, kind of sounds like the 88. I guess it sounds like the 88, but it doesn't sound like the 88.
Right.
But if the person goes out there going, dude, I have the unit that sounds like the 88, they don't know any better. They don't know the difference. So they're just going, yeah, dude, I have the 88 plug-in, or I have something that sounds like the 88.
And there were other tricks that those guys would do. I think Nuno put a rat pedal or something in front, and it completely changed the way that sounded. So, who knows? Hey, we got another one joining in. We have from Great White North. It's Trev's neighbor. It is Mr. John Deschamps.
Yay.
What's going on, John?
Yo, man.
Hey, everybody.
Check. Do we have that echo? No, man. He's prepared, man. He's got it down now. What are your thoughts on that question, John?
What?
Do you think that Ed would have switched over to that pedal or continued to use his rack?
In one of these videos, I heard that Ed was thinking of going back to using the Eventide gear. So depending on whether the H90 or something like that would work for him, I think that would be the deciding factor. Because you got to remember, right? He's got to have a rack anyways.
Yeah,
that's wet, dry, wet, right?
Well, according to the touting of this new pedal, you don't.
Yeah, but Pete was saying today if you wanted to do, because they've made it easy with the 3 inputs, or 2 out and 1 in. But if you wanted to add micro pitch and all the rest of it, you still have to go through the load box and all that stuff like you have.
Right. And that's exactly how I would have to hook it up if I got that pedal. Is I would just have to take, out of my mixer like I'm doing already and just basically put it directly in where the SDE 3000s and continue to loop everything like I'm doing. So,
but having said that, you take a look at somebody like John Shanks. His whole rig is pedals in a rack. He's just got trays, right?
Yeah.
To come out. So
Yep.
I think Ed would have put his stamp of approval on it and then absolutely used it. I mean, why not? If it's the same thing, which is what they're saying.
Yep. But who knows? I mean, if he was still around, maybe there would be an EVH Eventide unit. Who knows? There may even be plans for that. Who knows?
That's the thing.
Yeah. So, I guess going forward, I've thought about this before. I'm like, how are they going to go forward with the EVH products and come out with new stuff? Because it was always, I'm not putting anything out unless I've used it. Well, unfortunately, he can't use it now. He's gone. So how are they going to, is it going to kind of shift over to Wolfgang? I use this, so this is the new pickups that I have, or I use this is the new guitar. We all know that he's working on the guitar. I use this delay unit, so this is, it's been road tested. So is it shifting all over to Wolfgang now? Is he going to be the road tester for all the new stuff? Is EVH brand going to just finally kind of branch out to maybe even other artists that are EVH endorsed, and hey, this is what I use, and this is in the style of what Eddie would have used, and I endorse this. This is my stamp. Who knows where the brand's going, right?
I think, and there's there's almost two groups of players out there. There's the young metalheads who love the 5150s, and then there's us old dodgers that like all the guitars and the stuff that has the stripes and all that.
Right.
So I would suspect that they would probably, and I'd like to know what the sales data is on the guitars versus the amps, because I know the amp thing it's been iconic since the very first PV 5150, right?
I know the 50 watts are way popular still.
Yeah. So they're not going anywhere. But the guitars, I mean, I'm an Ed head, and I was looking at the Stealth there. You and I were. Yeah. It's like $5,400 up here. So I mean, you gotta be old and have some money and dedication to the man.
Yeah. But to get a quality Les Paul.
Yep.
You're gonna spend a Les Paul that I have played. I've played the 60s, the 50, the standards, the tributes, the traditionals, the new modern ones. None of them feel right to me until I get up into the $7,000-8,000 range.
Isn't that crazy?
So for me to purchase a Les Paul that I would be happy with, $8,000.
Yep.
$8,000. So
yep.
I am every bit as happy and comfortable on the EVH Wolfgang. I like the USA signature ones, the specials, the Mexican made. They're good. They're bang for the buck. But the most comfortable ones to me are these. So
and when you get to our age, it's the last 20% that we're chasing. Yeah, that costs money. That's all.
It costs quite a bit.
I could have a JCM 800 or an old an SL 68, but you want something a little more.
The BE 100 did it for you.
Yep.
Let's get back to the chat and see what you guys are saying. James G has found a sick purple burst and he grabbed it. Very cool. I know Stephen Franklin's still waiting on his, unless he just hadn't told us that he got it yet. Let's see. Han 36 Solo is in here. Welcome in. He says he would have designed it. Yep. Certainly he would have put some more stamp of his approval on it, I guess.
Wouldn't have to screen it all.
Let's see.
It's White Bailey.
Charles 75 says he can't tag. He's driving, so he says hello to everybody.
He's pulling a Laz.
Yeah, right?
Oh, no,
Let's see.
Glasses.
Now, Kurt has a very important question here. Do you think Ed had an albatross pedal on his board? No. What's going on, Dwight Bailey? Good to see you.
What's up, man?
Boner Jams is here. Long time no see for sure. Had a blast last night.
Good times.
Welcome in.
This morning.
That was very entertaining to watch.
Well, good. I was wondering.
It was really enjoyed it.
Time flew by. I could not believe it was 3 hours.
It did.
I looked up at the corner. I'm like, 3 hours? What?
When we first started, it was a little awkward because I'm kind of used to running the show, and then Jay's kind of used to running. And we were kind of looking at each other like, who's doing what? And Kurt jumped in and he took charge, and man, it just was off from there. So I had a blast.
Didn't help that Jay just had his asshole blown out. So.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
Let's see. What else is going on here in the chat? Let me catch up. Everybody saying hey to Boner. Let's see. Ryan Hall says that he thinks that Ed would have had an albatross. You know, he probably could have made it pretty musical too.
I guess if anyone had figured it out, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah. Kurt says it makes a good paperweight, or out behind the tool shed makes a good target practice. Let's see. Any other comments or questions? Let's see. Stephen Franklin says, how did Pete Thorne get involved? John could probably answer that better than any of us because he watches Pete. And I think Pete was explaining what he had done.
I think he was he's buddies with Matt Brook, right?
Yeah. I was gonna say.
And he's kind of the logical guy to do that sort of thing. So I think he made himself available, very available, and went from there.
Oh yeah, what an honor!
Any opportunity to go to the 5150 studio and actually play through Ed's rig to AB a piece of equipment, I'm there. Whatever it takes, I'll do it.
Still sounded like Pete Thorne.
Right. Yeah. But, for players to get as close as they can to what Ed sounds like, Pete's pretty close. He can
nail it.
He can dial it in and nail it for sure.
Could you imagine just walking into that studio for the first time, and just soaking it all in, the history, the
oh man, yeah.
I would have been like this. Celebration time.
All right,
and you would have promptly got escorted out.
Not over the pedal board.
I guess this was during my comment about the Wolfgang. James G says you'll take a Wolfgang over Les Paul every day. Yep.
Me too.
I kind of agree with that. Les Paul does its thing and it has its place, and I would love to have a nice one. But I've got other things that I would prefer to have first.
So my buddy, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yeah.
My buddy has a 72, I think, custom.
Mm-hmm.
And there's not another guitar on the planet that sounds like that.
Right.
It's kind of like the archetype of a Les Paul. It is unbelievable how great that sounds.
Yeah. And see, a lot of people, sorry to interrupt you, a lot of people don't understand that, is that they pick up a Les Paul and they play it, and like you were saying before, R2, you don't have anything to compare it against. But when you've played a really, really good one, it's like going wet, dry, wet. Once you play it, you can't go back. So when you've played a really, really good Les Paul and you play all these other traditionals or standards or whatever coming off the shelf these days, it's like there's no comparison. It's not even the same kind of guitar. So
yeah, when you pick it up. Like when I picked up my Gibson Les Paul Classic, man, it resonated through my both arms, my forearms, my hands, through the guitar strap. It was the weirdest thing. I never had a guitar do that, where I can feel it all the way around my back when I would just play a chord and it would just go. I was like, what is that? Oh my gosh. If it sounds like this, it's going to sound phenomenal plugged in. Sure enough.
Yeah.
I'm like, sold. Bring it home.
Yeah, and that's not to say that you can't find a couple of unicorns sprinkled in, with those particular guitars. You can. And sometimes the lesser, like some of the studios and even some of the tributes that, don't have a full gloss finish and all that kind of stuff, that are even kind of the BFG guitars, those barely finished guitars that they had years ago. Right. I found a couple of those, and those resonated very, very nicely. Fit and finish was kind of lacking, but they had pretty good tone just based on the fact that they didn't have finish on them. They were breathing.
Right.
So let's see. Anybody else have anything in the chat here? Stephen Franklin says June 8th is still the delivery on his Purple Wolf. So be here before you know it. Let's see. Steve Franklin said, okay, what's on the list, Ryan, that you want before the Les Paul? I would like to have a quilted PV Purple Wolfgang, and I would certainly like to have a, original Ernie Ball Music Man EVH guitar. Wouldn't mind another Steinberger, too. Donald says, did Eddie still use the Echoplex delay? I'm not sure.
Nope.
Who knows what he did in the studio, though. He may have used it in the studio for something, but when he was live and on tour, no, it was just the SDE 3000s. Bo is agreeing. He says Gus Gibson Customs are a much better guitar. Kurt says, I think Pete Thorne was introduced to Ed from Chris Cornell. I believe you're right. I think I remember hearing that story.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was, Chris was doing something, and he was like, hey, you want to go up to 5150 with me? And he was, yeah.
Please.
I think I remember that.
It worked
correctly.
on a song.
Mr. Franklin says, I got a tribute that plays really well with an okay tune. And let's see. James G. says a new Music Man Ball Family Reserve. Those are nice. The Axis guitars, those are really nice. They've got some purple ones that I think, is it Music Zoo has
Music
an
Zoo,
exclusive
yeah.
amethyst color. It's a real nice purple. I don't know, just something about when they relocated that switch down underneath I just can't get used to that. I like the original position where it was. So there we are.
Stainless steel frets.
Kurt says Chris and Ed recorded some music together. Cool.
That would be
It's funny. I remember. Do you guys remember when that guitar magazine came out with Ed on the cover, and he was holding the purple Music Man?
Mm-hmm.
The closest I could find from where I'm at was a place in Seattle had them, and I called down there, and it was like $2,800. And I said, and that was during the week, and it's a 2 or 3 hour drive for me. Called him, put it aside. I'm coming, and I went, and it was gone.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness.
Yep. And that was back. When was that?
That was same 90. Whenever they came out. 91.
Whenever they came out. Yeah. Yeah, I can remember going to the music stores at that time, and I didn't have a bunch of money, but I wanted one bad. Mm-hmm. And I think they were $1,800 or something, brand new.
Yeah,
if that.
Yeah, so 26 for me Canadian, right? So yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, like $1,800, and I end up settling on a Jackson neck through, like a soloist, something
that's
or another.
What I wanted. I bought my 91 Jackson.
It was like $800, So I was like, well, I can afford that, but I can't afford that. Man, I kick myself to this day. Wish I had bought a couple of those. Mm-hmm. We've got somebody jumping in here. Music Therapy Laz. Welcome in, Laz.
Yo.
Driving home from Hollywood, lurking and using voice to text into the chat. So, welcome in. Thanks for listening.
Welcome, Laz.
He says he will definitely have to put the Albatross into that new Boss with the wet and dry setup just for me. I am so not looking forward to that, Laz.
Man.
Oh, that's right. Octopus is with him. Has this saying, hey to Octopus ears. Say hello to Octopus for all of us, Laz.
Yeah, man. I haven't seen him in a while.
Dwight Bailey saying hello, John DeShane.
Hello, Dwight Bailey.
Yo.
James G, they remade purple guitar. They made 100 of them. It's the new BFR. There's one on Reverb right now. Well, hell, let's go to
I think
Reverb.
you might have to open a window here.
Hey, that's what I'm on it right now.
I've already got one open,
Let's see who's
Do you?
got the quickest pay now.
but I don't see a purple one.
Let's see.
It's all Petrucci stuff here at DeLone and McQuaid.
Reverb musical instruments for sale, and it's listed as a Ernie Ball family reserve.
You think it's over 10K?
Let's see, translucent purple right there. All right, let me get to where I can share this.
Present.
Is the toggle in the right spot, Ryan?
I haven't looked at
Oh,
it
you
yet.
haven't got there yet.
Let's see, got that one, and then we can add it to the stream. There we go.
Just like that.
$44.99. I got to go to the window, so I can't see you guys while I'm looking at this. But
While he's
take a look.
making a purchase.
yeah, I want you guys to see my credit card. No, no, the switch is in the wrong place, but it does have a nice quilt. Let's get some more pictures here. Man, it's really dark. There we go.
Oh, nice.
Apparently they faded over time, so maybe they put a little extra pizzazz in there.
Yeah, hopefully they've corrected that. That's a nice looking guitar.
Yep. That pickup selector bothers me though.
How much is
Yeah.
that?
$4,400.
It looks like it's got more of a flamed neck than a bird's eye. Yeah, you can
That's
see
nice.
the flames there.
That is nice.
It is pretty, isn't it?
It is.
Oh, that's kind of cool. Got a bluish, purplish back instead of being black. Yeah, you can really see all that flame on that neck. That's beautiful.
Tiger.
Look at that case, the crushed purple
Yeah, the case is
velvet.
cool.
So they've changed the stamp on the back of the guitar.
Is it
Yeah.
just a BFR stamp?
Yeah, I can't get any closer to it, but it definitely doesn't say built in San Luis whatever anymore.
Obispo.
El Bispo. So very cool.
Where you can get this one for $3,300.
Yeah, that's not quite the right purple. I've looked at a couple of those.
Look at the filet mignon in that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, see, it's got the black back.
Let's see the front again. Yeah, there's something not right about that.
Yeah, that color is just not quite
I think
right.
it's the picture, because when I saw the Music Zoo video that they were showing, looked nice.
It looked correct.
Yeah. Here it just
Yeah,
looks like
Yeah.
a
Blech.
dark plum. Yeah. it's like-
Pictures can do that.
Yeah.
but when what's his name from the Music Zoo was actually showing it, I'm like, oh wow, that looks sweet.
Look a little different. All right, let's see. Stephen Franklin says, take something to the shed. I don't remember what it was, but we'll take it anyway.
The
Let's see.
albatross, maybe.
Oh, could be.
Probably.
Mr. Ferd Burfel is joined in. What is going on, man? Good to see you.
Preferred.
Hey, look at there. Holly coming in to hear about the nice fluffy clouds, nice fluffy chords, happy chords that we play here on the show.
You see on her
She says,
Facebook that
popping in to
little
say,
video
hey,
with the
hope
fluffy
you guys have a great show. We'll catch the replay. All right, we'll see you then. Let's see.
Coffee sounds good.
James G is saying that it's a nitro finish now on the BFR.
The Eds were nitro too, weren't they?
I really honestly don't know. I bet you Kurt knows, though.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Oh, speaking of the EVH guitars, Kurt, put me in touch with who had that one last night.
I was going to ask about that, but I wasn't going to do it in a public forum.
Well, anybody that's got one, let me know.
And
Don't
if it
mind
falls through, Ryan will let me know.
Let's see what else is going on. And yeah, toggle switch location bothers me. I think that, I don't know how, but I'm sure a guitar shop could move that and then kind of patch up. But you'd always be able to tell if you move that thing. So,
And you'd also suck all the value out of it.
yeah. Yeah, see, that still looks wrong to me.
Think.
Yeah, it's
A little
more
too.
a little too much red in it, I think.
Right.
More on
The one on the right over there. See, it depends on the lighting.
I guess it depends on the light and the guitar, maybe. Yeah, it's hard to tell.
That one on the right definitely looks closer, though.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Let's take
Jimmy
a trip.
Ray Hawkins says a must check on these in current Axis Ernie Ball Music Man's are the string alignment, the high E being at the edge of the fretboard, hit and miss for me. I've done a 7/8 send back a couple of times and gave up.
On the axis,
On
Jimmy?
the axis?
That was something that they said that they had corrected.
They
The necks were
corrected.
just a bit wider on the axis,
Yeah.
but they are still pretty narrow. Let's see.
Funny, because when I had my axis, it was the 90s, no, 2000s, early 2000s. I wonder if I'd even like it now. You know?
Good point. Good point. Let's see. Bryce
Yeah, the neck.
Regal has jumped in. Hello to Bryce.
Hey,
What's up, Bryce?
Yeah, the neck maybe a little too small for us now. Maybe it's not what we remember. So,
We'd still buy it and say it's great.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure. Oh, yeah. Feels fantastic. Just like I remembered. Let's see. James is agreeing. Not the same, R2.
Yeah.
I've just about had enough of you.
Let's see. Yeah. Okay. Got you, Kurt. Appreciate it. Let's see. What else is going on in the chat? Anyone else? Stephen Franklin says, anyone else think they should have done the headstock to match the body?
110%.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yep. And Kurt is saying that they should have corrected that. Sometimes it does take a little neck shift to fix it. I've had to do that before, on other guitars, just kind of loosen the neck and give it the old, and then tighten down. So
I've got parts guitars like that. My blue one, which I really like. Sometimes things go a little bit, and I just grab the neck. And, hey,
Yep.
There we go. She's
Yep.
back.
Yep. I remember listening to, wasn't that long ago, it was Jakey Lee was talking about his guitars, how he never used a trim, and he would always grab the neck and he would bend the neck to get kind of that, simulated tone of that. And he was proud that he could, hang with the guys that had a Floyd Rose or whatever, and he could sound almost the same with what he was doing. He said, but yeah, unfortunately, sometimes I thought I was going to break the neck off, and sometimes I'd have to take the guitar and pull the neck back into place. So, it's just two pieces of wood bolted together, so sometimes you gotta get it correct.
Imagine doing that with a Les Paul.
Jeez.
It's either at the body or right at the headstock. Something's going to break.
Reach up to the headstock and do that, and headstock comes off in your hand. Have you ever looked closely at one of the Les Paul headstocks after they break? It's really, really thin, right through there. And where the truss rod is all routed out, I mean, you literally have this much wood, holding that whole thing together.
That alone would stop me from, getting hard on heavy on using a Les Paul.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe in a studio situation, but let's see. Sean Hockey says, yes, much agreed. The high E string is way too close to the edge. I tried a 7-string Petrucci at Guitar Center. It was bad. Sorry for butchering his name. Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Yep.
Blackjack Guitars here. Welcome in. He says, hey, Ryan, R2, R3, John DeShane, and Symmetry. Chatsters, cheers.
Yo, cheers, man.
Welcome in.
Hey, man.
Let's see. Bryce says, I saw that he said his Charvel, the neck would pop out of the pocket a little sometimes. Yeah. Yeah. Must have been the same thing I was watching. Amazing that it never broke. For sure.
Yeah, he was something special, that guy.
Let's see. Jimmy Ray says, in which I did, and not enough of a shift to make it work. My experience comes from working at Yamaha Guitars, Ericsson, Alan Holdsworth, and the Fender Custom Shop. Oh, well.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, Blackjack's saying he saw the collab with Under the Bus. I thought he was saying he saw Caleb with Under the Bus. I was looking at the little print over here, and I'm like, what?
Did he finally do his pick dump and see how the show went?
I never heard anything about it.
We were asking about it.
Yeah. Yeah, Bryce says Jakey Lee recording again. Recently, he's in a group called Red Dragon Cartel. Yep. You know, it's funny because these guys from the 80s, you know, playing with these big groups and, you know, looking back at some of the footage and pictures from those days, and they're playing to big stadiums and thousands of people. And now you see a rig rundown with whatever guitar channel that is. And he's on this little, you know, postage stamp stage in this little venue that sits like 50 people. And he's, you know, yeah, man, we got a show tonight. Like, dude. How the times have changed.
I have a show.
Yeah. How the times have changed for some of these 80s guys.
Yeah.
Well, that covers that topic. What was the other thing you were talking about, Trev? What was that?
I thought we had a pretty fun time there with the what was everybody's first album conversation. Maybe go into what was your first concert?
Yeah. In the chat, what was everybody's first concert that you went to? What was yours, Trev?
Wow, this is a fun story. Back about 12, 13 years old, grade 6, grade 7. And my buddy and I were stick boys for the local WHL team. And there's a concert one night, and the guys rolled up in the bus coming in from out of town and called us up to come and help unload the bus. So we unloaded the bus and grabbed a case of beer and went and sat underneath the bleachers for a couple hours until the concert would start. And then we just kind of snuck out and mingled with the crowd. It was Aldanova and Streetheart.
Oh, wow.
And I think that's part of my love for that Les Paul Marshall sound, was that my first real experience with loud, in-person live concert music was Aldanova with his hockey stick headstock and just cranking it. It's like, oh, that sounds so good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I believe he's the only artist that has a Les Paul with that kind of headstock on it, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
And special made. I think there's only like 4 or 5 of them out there.
Oh, wow. So we got chat is rolling in. How about you, R2? What was your first concert ever?
The first concert was supposed to be Eric Clapton and Stevie Ray Vaughan, but then the concert we were supposed to go to with my brother, Stevie Ray Vaughan, passed. That's when I guess the helicopter crashed at Alpine Valley in Wisconsin. So we couldn't go to that show. I was also supposed to go to, believe it or not, 1980 Led Zeppelin, and then John Bonham died. So my brother, he wanted to take me to that concert. He wanted to take me to another concert. I'm like, oh, these people are dying, and I kind of just had this feeling like I think every concert that I'm going to go to, I'm jinxing it or something. My brother's like, I don't know what the hell is going on, dude. I can't take you to a show because everyone's dying. So when I believe he got out of boot camp in the Marine Corps, and he's like, we're going to go see Ozzy Anthrax.
Nice.
No Rest for the Wicked tour. And I'm like, oh no, man, Ozzy's going to die. Somebody's going to die. But nobody died. So yeah, Ozzy Anthrax was my first show, and at that time I was really, really into obviously Ozzy, but into the whole thrash, Anthrax, Megadeth, Metallica. So I was like, yes, Anthrax is opening up for him. Persistence of Time was the album that came out, and No Rest for the Wicked tour. And that's when my brother's like, yeah, Ozzy's got a new guitarist. His name is Zach Wild. It's like blonde hair kid, no beard, young dude, no shirt, leather pants, bell bottoms, and wow, what a show! That
Mr.
was
Squealy.
we had some really good seats, and that's the show that I was telling you guys that Zach was spitting up in the air, and I'm like, what the heck?
What the?
I hope that's water.
Right. How about you, John? What was your first?
My first be Johnny Cash.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my dad took me. We're close to the U.S. border, so we went to Linden State Fair, and yeah, he was there, and it was same thing, maybe 500 people, and he just gave her. It was great, absolutely great.
A Ring of Fire.
Yeah, the whole thing.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah, that would have been cool to see.
Yep.
My first concert was 1986, Journey, Raised on Radio.
Whoa.
I still remember that like it was yesterday. For one, it's your first concert, and two,
Impression.
I think I mentioned before that back in that day when we were going to see, same place I saw Van Halen and all that, Coliseum that we would go to, it was general admission. I think most concerts back then were general admission. So whatever time you got there, if you were early, you could get down to the front of the stage. So my brother and I, we went, and I forget how old I was, 86. Okay, well, we won't say how old I was. But I remember I was on the side with the dude that played the guitar and the keyboards. And then every so often, Neil Sean would walk over to that side and play. And, I was just fascinated with guitar, so I'm watching him play. But, yeah, just remember that the one thing specifically of that concert was just how fantastic Steve Perry's vocals really are. That dude can sing.
Oh, yeah, especially back then. Man.
Yep.
Right.
A lot of times you hear a singer on a record and it's processed and tweaked, but when you hear somebody live and able to sing like that and hit those notes, man, it just left a lasting impression on me. I remember that.
He's a great singer.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see who the chat is saying here. Patrick says Kiss was his first concert. Sean Hockey says 5150. I'm assuming the 5150 tour. So Van Halen in Ohio with BTO opening up. Cool.
Wow. Bachman Turner.
Steve Franklin says Kiss in the late 70s was his first. $7.50 a ticket. That's big money back then, though. Big money.
Big money.
Ronald Young says first concert was Loverboy, and he was loving every minute of it. Let's see. Him and Rick Nielsen and Trogley. I don't know what that means. Let's see. My first concert was REO Speedwagon, says Patty. Cool.
I was into those guys way back when.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They had some good tunes. Guitar Man 45 says Kiss Destroyer Tour in 76. Cobo Hall in Detroit.
Wow.
That'd be awesome.
William De Silva says Rob Bass and DJ Easy Rock. William. Way back when I used to listen to that foolishness. Music is music, and if it hits you in a certain way, I can't blame anybody for listening to it. Now, if you listen to country, you're just an idiot. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I don't particularly care for country myself. But to each his own. Each his own. James G, mine was David Lee Roth talking about a Yankee Rose.
Oh, nice. I thought that said DRI.
I think I was 14. I won David Lee Roth tickets when I was in high school on the radio station. And I couldn't go. And I was trying to sell them, and I was having the hardest time selling them. Everybody's like, nah, he's not Van Halen anymore. And I remember that. You know, people talk about how, you know, the David Lee Roth camp and the Sammy Hagar camp, and, you know, people really liked David because he was entertaining, which he was. But I guess maybe it was just my high school. You know, Van Halen was the thing back then. Let's see. Guitar Man 45 says, I saw Zakk Wylde play in a parking lot shopping center here in Novi, Michigan, way before he played for Ozzy. There's some video of him playing on a flatbed truck. I don't know where that was. There's like a Subway in the background, and certainly when he was first getting his start. Have you guys seen that before?
No. Subway with Jared? No, I'm just kidding.
Hey now. Let's see. Bo says first time seeing Journey was 78 with Montrose and Van Halen Masonic Temple. Wow.
Wow, that would have been a concert.
Yeah, man.
Damn.
James G is agreeing. Steve Perry, awesome singer. Let's see. Kurt says, did Steve Perry sing as good as Jay? Nowhere near. You know,
We heard that in the green room last night.
that was a little disappointing because I've listened to that a couple times now and I can't hear what he's saying. Maybe I'm just, I don't know.
You don't
I
want
don't know if I want to know.
Yeah, you don't
what
want
he
to
was
know.
saying. Oh man. Good times.
That's
Charles 75N says Bob Seger in the mid 80s. Very cool. Steve Franklin has a better question. He says, who do you wish you saw live but didn't get to? That's a pretty good one.
Zeppelin.
Yep, for sure. Zeppelin.
And Stevie Ray.
Yep.
Yeah.
Did I tell you guys the story about how I missed Stevie Ray?
So we all have a story like that.
Let me get this real quick. William DeSilva says, no, country sucks. Classic country is tolerable. Cash, Jennings, Willie.
Yeah,
We'll
I
allow,
like the old
we'll
stuff.
allow it. We'll allow it.
The old stuff's good.
Pride and Glory footage says Hit Metalworks. Let's see. Pantera. Kurt says my first concert was Alternative Nation 1992, Screaming Tree, Soul Asylum, and Spin Doctors.
Yeah,
Cool.
nothing wrong with that.
Ferd Burfel outdoor concert in Joliet, Illinois. REO Speedwagon, Beach Boys, BTO, and Grand Funk Railroad. Very cool. All right, so
Nice.
bands that you wish you could have seen. You know, Led Zeppelin, that was the first thing I was going to say, and you guys beat me to it. Back in the 90s, I was like, man, if they ever come anywhere near, you know, any kind of reunion, even though it's with, you know, the son playing drums or whatever, I want to go see that. And Pink Floyd was another one. And then they had the Pulse and the Division Bell and
Division
all
Bell,
that, and
yeah.
they toured. So I got to see them. You know, the bucket list, that's really the only one I can think of is Zeppelin.
The Rolling Stones.
No,
Yeah.
no, you couldn't pay me to go see them. Sorry.
Mick Jagger's solo tour,
I think go to Steel Wheels.
especially.
I don't know what it is about that band. It just rubs me the wrong way.
Chemistry.
Yeah, it must be.
It's the moves of Jagger.
What about you guys in the chat? Who's some bands that you would have liked to have seen that's not possible anymore? Stevie Ray Vaughan, he was going to play. What year was it? I want to say that it was when did he pass away? What year?
I know he passed away on my birthday. What year was that? 90?
That's
91?
Yeah,
90,
that's-
91.
That's what I was going to say.
90. August 27th, 1990.
Okay,
Yep.
so it must have been the Jazz Fest in New Orleans of 1989 that I went to.
You know how I find out how when he died? My mom walked into my bedroom
Uh-oh.
and she walked in and she pointed to the poster I had. She goes, "Hey, that guy right there died." I go, "Mom, cut it out." She goes, "No, that guy. I saw him on the news. That guy died." So I go, "My brother." I go, "Jillian, did you hear anything about this?" She's like, "What?" Mom said Stevie Ray Vaughan died. Mom, you don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, sure enough.
Yeah.
I'll find
Wow.
out.
Well, he played at the Jazz Fest in New Orleans. It was either 89 or early 90, because it was right after that he passed. We were there. I was there with some buddies, and just like Trev in the Tone Shack there, it was like 875 degrees out that day. And man, at the end of the day, we were wore out. We were ready to go, and I was like, we just can't stay. And he had a set later that we were trying to catch, and we didn't catch it, so we missed him by that much, and just shortly thereafter he was gone. So kind of kicked myself for being a wimp that day and not sticking it out, but what can you do? Let's
Right
see.
At that same time, he was playing a show here, and my friends and myself, we were like, maybe we should go see the Stevie Ray Vaughan show. And then it's like, we'll catch him next time.
Yeah, that's the next time.
And then never said that phrase again when it came down to, let's go see him. Yeah, let's go see him.
Yep, let's go. Stephen Franklin, he was lucky enough to see Stevie Ray. Bonham died, and Zepp canceled everything before it started.
Yeah.
Let's see, James G. Screaming Trees, Sweet Oblivion.
My brother kept the tickets that he.
Oh, wow.
We have a newspaper here. We have Chicago Tribune and Chicago Sun-Times, and you were able to purchase the tickets through the newspaper.
Wow.
My brother bought them, and when he died, my mom's like, "Get your money back. Get your money back."
Dennis Ellis has filed in. He says, "Dang, guys, I'm late. I'm late. What
What's
did
up,
he
man?
say? I'm late in. Hey, everybody. Welcome in. Good to have you." Kurt 5150 says, "One of my favorite bands, Aerosmith. Never saw them. Not sure if Steven Tyler will pull it together to go back out again." Aren't they on one of those finale tours right now? Aren't they doing that? Or maybe I'm thinking of somebody else.
I don't know.
Yeah. Dennis
Still on
Ellis
that
says
cocaine?
Stevie Ray Vaughan. Let's see. Guitar Man 45 is telling Mr. Franklin that he had tickets for Led Zepp in 1980 in Through the Outdoor, and Bonham went and died a month before the concert. Oof. James G. I don't like the Stones or Leonard Skinnerd. I'm with you on the Stones there. I can tolerate some Skinnerd. Herb of Fireside Studio, welcome in. This says,
Saturday nights.
I would love to have seen Warrant with Janie Lane and Skid Row with Baz. Let's see. Steve Franklin says he had tickets as well. L&M Guitar Corner, BB for me. BB King?
Yeah.
Yeah. Bo says saw BB a few times. Some great shows.
I had a chance to go see him too here in Vancouver.
Yeah.
Some kind of next time type of deal, same as Trev.
You know who I've never seen that I'm not sure that I would even, I don't know, I'd probably go see him. It would have to be U2. I've never seen U2. Would you go see U2 concert?
I saw them.
If I could sit through a whole show.
Yeah.
I think the
great.
older stuff.
Right.
But I guess it'd be a pretty good show for eye candy.
Yeah.
Well, the Edge's guitar tone's absolutely epic in his
Yeah.
video, man.
Yeah. He's close in that line of guitar players that are up there for me.
Yep.
You know,
They were great.
Just basically based on what he's able to do, you know, with his different techniques.
His pedal board's the size of a car.
Yeah, I think he's got like, 20 something racks bigger than that back there.
Yeah.
So, Can you imagine being his roadies?
No guitar signal. Figure it out. Troubleshoot it.
Yeah, Ferd says Aerosmith is doing a final tour this fall through early 2024. So, Kurt, get your tickets.
Is Steven Tyler back on the drugs and stuff? Or?
Yeah, I think so.
No telling.
The last time I saw him, it looked like it was like Buck Cherry. I like the cocaine. I like the cocaine.
Dennis is saying it's going to be the Gurney tour. There we go. They're scoping out the tickets for you, Kurt. We're playing in Seattle November 28th.
If they can hold it together.
Got to see if there's also a date somewhat close to me that is not sold out, says L&M. It's over there in Austria, hey?
That's right.
Are they doing a world final tour?
Oh, they must be.
Never know. What you got going on there, John? You're plucking on something. You about to play us a tune?
I was. That's all.
Right on. So let's see. Caught up in the chat. We're kind of caught up here. What else is happening, boys?
Just looking for a Rolling Stones tune I covered.
You cheating, though, too. You cheating.
When you said the Stones, I'm like, I can't remember doing the Stones. Where is it?
I'm kind of curious now. I'm going to look up and see Aerosmith final tour. Let's see, locations. Amazing what you can find with Google, right? Oh, look at there. They're coming this way. 10/14. I don't know that I would ever plan
One
to
band
go
I
and
never
see
really was into.
that. Right. Let's see. Seymour. I see a bunch of U.S. dates. Let's see. November, December, all through December, they're in the U.S. Continuing on to next year, U.S. It looks like they go to Montreal, Canada, and that looks like the last show. So, Martin, you might have to fly back over to Canada.
Aerosmith farewell tour. No Vancouver date. But I guess we could go to Seattle.
Hang out with
Get a
Kurt.
fucking passport.
Yeah, there you go.
Get that passport sorted out anyway so I can go down and drink beers. Titter with Kurt.
Kurt!
Let's see. I'm just checking to... Yeah, I don't see anything else there. But you never know. A lot of times these bands, you know, oh yeah, we're finishing up the U.S. and we're going to go tour over here. So who knows? Yeah. U.S. and Canada. Donald says he saw Aerosmith in '88. Was it a good show back then, Donald?
That would have been on the Pump tour, wouldn't it? Or
I think so.
yeah,
Yeah. Or Permanent
Vacation.
Vacation, maybe.
That's
Can't
kind of when
remember.
I really got. I know it's terrible as a guitar player, but that's really when I was exposed to them. Was Pump and Permanent Vacation.
I think the first time I was ever exposed to Aerosmith, and it may be bad to say this too, but was their collaboration with Run DMC when they were on MTV.
Yeah.
You know, and you're like, who's these guys? You know.
I can go back to the first time I heard them was at the local fair thing with all the rides and exhibits and shit. And there's that big ride that's the Viking ship that goes. And they were playing Sweet Emotion.
That's a good tune right there.
Yeah.
What about Def Leppard back in the day?
Seen them a few times.
Never
Yeah,
got to see them.
They were fun. Those shows were fun.
Like you said, probably a lot of eye candy there.
The girls. Yeah, kind of like when I went to go see my bass player and I. We wanted to go see Pantera, and we couldn't convince our girlfriends to go with us. So we're like, all right, fine, we'll go by ourselves.
Yeah, ditch the women.
But then all of a sudden they found out that Skid Row was going to be there. So it was Pantera, Skid Row.
Right.
Man,
Well,
Never
in
saw
that
so many
older video,
women.
there's some pretty amusing behind the scenes from those shows. Baz showing up with a big bag of weed. Yeah, look what
well,
I got.
on that show, Phil Anselmo comes out with this big doobie that blew out all this smoke.
Right.
He just came on stage and he just
Big fog machine and shit.
just fogging everybody. And people were running up front thinking that they were going to get high off of this stuff. Like, you just see the rush of crowd of people going. The what do you call them? They couldn't stop the kids running down the aisles. Like, go ahead, you guys, let me see your tickets. Yeah, fuck you, man.
That's crazy. Let's see. You both saw AC/DC with Bon Scott. They opened for Aerosmith. I think it was 79.
Bo's pretty much had the rock star life. It sounds like he's seen all the best bands, has all the best gear.
Yep. Has a guitar from each one of them.
That's right. Pretty cool, man.
Let's see. James is ahead of everything. He says he's got tickets for the Seattle date, and that's how he knew. They better not cancel. Steve Franklin is cooking some chicken.
Nice.
Oh, that says parm.
Chicken parmesan.
Parmesan.
Let's see. Saw them open for Kiss. Rick Allen had both arms. Was it a better show? I think he became a better drummer after. What do I know? Donald says first song he heard was Dream On from Aerosmith.
Yeah, I probably heard that too at the fair or something like that.
You know what's interesting? I've had this for a long, long time. But I think...
Royal.
Crown Royal.
I don't remember when I bought this, but I know I bought it because of hearing them on MTV and, just kind of getting into them. But
I walk this way.
the greatest hits CD,
Right?
You know what?
Yeah.
I've had this for forever.
I have that one of them too. Good friend of mine left it in my car. He's like, "You can have it, man." I'm like, "Really?" Okay.
I think a lot of them with Aerosmith, they suffered the overplayed thing too, right?
That's yeah.
Because a lot of their stuff is really great. I just personally, I don't understand Joe Perry's why he's the man. It just doesn't. I don't get it.
Doesn't do it for you?
It's good.
Good, but yeah.
Yeah, it's
not like
good. I just don't understand how he gets compared to somebody like Ed or Gilmore or
Right.
any of those guys. I mean, he's a good blues player.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, I guess the riffs and stuff, right? He writes a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
That's killer.
Hey, Andy Carson, welcome to the
Oh,
party.
Mandy.
Stephen Franklin says too soon. I don't
For the
think that
arm
was
thing?
too soon for that joke. No, I think that's...
We had both arms.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's funny.
Let's see. James G says, I saw the Hysteria tour in the Tacoma Dome. Tons of
I saw them
Right?
a couple nights before or a couple nights after up here in Vancouver.
Andy Carson, good to see you. Oh, I guess that's who you guys were saying hey to a minute ago.
Yep.
Been doing yard work. Had an absolute blast last night. So did we.
Thanks,
I
man.
think. I don't really remember. No.
Did you get one going on there, Ryan?
Oh, me?
Yeah,
I had a little bit of a buzz.
yeah.
I had the crown I was hitting.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was... Yeah, I had a pretty good bit.
That's good.
I hope
Not
we
like
can do it
Trev, though.
again.
Trev can drink me under the bus.
How'd that end up?
School of Dimebag.
What's that?
How did it end up after the after party?
It wasn't that long, actually.
Nah, it wasn't that long.
Maybe half hour at the most.
Yeah.
Yeah, hung out for a little bit. I drank a lot of water before I went to bed. I'll tell you that.
No, it was a lot of fun.
I usually, when I'm on a show, will turn my ringer on my phone off so it doesn't make noise while we're doing stuff. And of course, I forgot to turn it back on. John had sent me a message last night about, let's party on, open up Krebs Tone Check or something, let's carry on. I didn't see the message till this morning. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
And about 25 minutes after that, Trev, I'm like, fuck, I hope he doesn't text me. I'm getting tired.
Yeah, now you're like, yeah, never mind.
Yeah, it was about 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning before I went to bed, I think. So, Randy Price, what up?
cheers, Randy.
How's it going? Says, what up, fellas?
What's up, man?
Let's see. Anything else? Oh, Braves won today, huh? Were they playing the Seattle again today? I know they lost last night against Seattle, I think. That's Kurt's team.
Ron,
Baseball?
Ancient Mariner.
Baseball.
Kurt.
Look better than yesterday. Yep, very good. Let's see. Donald Young says the first Aerosmith 45 I bought was Walk This Way. And on the other side was Big 10-inch.
That's what she said.
I knew you were going to hit that.
Yeah, Kurt mentioned on the show last night that they beat the Braves.
Kurt was happy.
Let's see. Lazy Sunday here east of the ATL. Yeah. We're just kind of chilling here too.
Chilling like a villain.
Well, let me see if I got a lick or two in me. Evidently not.
Very nice.
I dig it.
Waiting for the yay.
What's happening here?
What happened?
There we go. Oh, you're waiting for me to give myself a round of applause. As John was calling me an egomaniac narcissist last night.
I was busted balls.
Just got a
I know,
notification
I
from
know.
Reverb.
Someone made an offer on the PVEVH Wolfgang Purple you're watching on Reverb. Oh,
Son of a!
Dun, dun, dun.
Is that the same one that you've been watching for all this time?
Yeah,
And it's been up for like a month or so?
been up there for a while.
And if you haven't bought it by now, then you deserve it.
Get out!
Well, at least every month I get a. Yeah, you better make an offer.
Yeah, I think that's just coming out just to try to get it to sell.
It's amazing how expensive shit is these days. I find like pedals and stuff.
Yeah,
Like I mean, the EVH is a good example, but you get a lot, a lot for
Yeah,
what it is.
that's a lot for that money.
But man, it was, that's another, for me, another $300 and you got an H90.
See you later, Martin. Take it easy. Catch you
Later,
next
Martin.
time. Yeah, stuff's getting pricey.
I was looking for a good Noble ODR, kind of like an updated one. And Brown amplification, they have one that I guess is the bomb. like 350, 370 bucks for an overdrive pedal.
Yeah. It's like a friend of mine was asking me, he's like, R2, man, have you ever had a Digitech whammy pedal? I'm like, yeah, man, I did. I sold it to Guitar Center.
Dime bag.
But I go, wouldn't mind getting the new one, but I don't know how easily available they are, man. And I go, I know Digitech, they were owned by Harman, but they sold the company. So he sends me a video this morning. How much? Right there, $299.99, $100.
That's the red one, right?
Yeah. So he's like,
Yeah,
"Here,
that to me seems reasonable
see if we can
for
hear
what
it."
it is.
He says, hold on. He's just getting pissed off. He goes, why is it every time I want something, it's so hard to find or it's so fucking expensive? And I'm like, dude, it's it's the way it is now,
The way
man.
it is. Yep.
It's like going into a local guitar store. I find it's like they've taken all the good stuff out and left all the crap. That's what it seems like, you know.
Thank you, Randy.
That is a
Andy
huge
says,
tone.
pack up some guitars and come down and jam. Send me all your Social Security information and all that so I can vet you first. And
Gonna get through screening.
we'll meet at Guitar Center and then we'll go from there. I'm just kidding, obviously.
You know what's funny about that
What's that?
is trying to looking at getting back into playing in bands after COVID and stuff. I mean, I've been raising kids and playing at home, but you look on the lists on Craigslist or Kijiji or something, and it's like send video, send an audition tape, basically. It's like, wow, things have changed.
Yep. You know, I don't really know that I would even want to play anywhere live these days because they want you to keep stage volume down. They want you playing through a box that you can plug into a computer or to their PA. You know, none of this loud stage volume stuff. You know, there's a few places that probably you can get away with it, but you know, part of the fun for me was to be able to go out and crank this stuff up and play it, you know.
Yep.
You know, and if all I'm doing is playing it with, you know, having to listen through ear monitors the same as I'm doing right here, I'll just stay here and do it. You know, I'm having just as much fun doing this as, almost as much fun as going out and playing. But
Yeah, nothing beats that rush. But
yeah,
I had a chance to play with a guy that I played with in the 2000s, early 2000s, and a really heavy thing, like something that's not really in my wheelhouse. But I figured it'd be a great challenge, and he sent me all the stuff, and I learned a couple of the tunes, and it's just totally, you know, sort of just
Right.
nuts. And I said, okay, well, it's, you know, I got 3 or 4 tunes down. Let's jam. He's like, well, bring your in-ears, and I'm like, I'm out. I ain't doing it, man.
don't even have that type of stuff.
Well, I mean, who wants to play aggressive music with cans on,
Right.
basically? Right?
Yeah. Let's see. Donald says, definitely love the tone. Thank you, Donald. I appreciate it. Patty, thank you. Let's see. Anything else going on in the chat? Donald says the EVH Boss pedal is way overpriced. You know, I think that it all depends on what you see as far as the value of what that pedal does. The standard SDE 3000 pedal that they're coming out with is $100 less. So if you don't need all of that routing and so forth, and you don't want the EVH settings, I can save $100 there.
If you're wet, dry, wet, or stereo, yeah, it's totally worth it.
Yeah.
If I was to get it to run a mono rig, no, it's
Yeah.
too much, right?
James G is yelling at John, get off my lawn.
What was I doing on your lawn?
I'm not sure. I'm just reading what's here, man.
Didn't mean
Let's
to park
see.
on your lawn.
Move your car.
I guess maybe just the way you're talking about not having that or not wanting to do the in-ears and all that and
Oh,
get off my lawn kind of curmudgeon
Being old.
attitude, being old. Yeah. Get off my lawn.
that's right. Yep. I own it. You're right. Yep.
Yeah. Let's see. Everybody talking about the
Great tone.
baseball up
H90s.
there.
John, you should play us a song.
I ain't feeling it today, man.
No?
No, I played the whole show last night that you guys were on,
Yeah.
and honest to God, my hands are sore.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I was working on some country kind of thing, and it involves some rather goofy chords and pull-offs and this and that. And
Little chicken
3
picking.
hours of it, and yeah.
All right.
Wore out. Randy Price says, I agree, Ryan. These sound guys and bar owners look at me real funny rolling in a 5152 and a Mesa oversized 4x12.
Yeah.
You know,
I
back
didn't
when
wanna-
I was playing
Didn't want to
live,
carry that anymore, man.
2009, 2010 was the last time I played. And even then, well, of course, I was, wheeling in,
The units.
they're like, really? I'm like, yeah, can I get 3 mics? And they're like, really?
You didn't bring your own, eh?
Well, a lot of times what I would do is I would tell them, I said, okay, just throw up a mic on the dry cab and have that come through. And
Yeah.
then I would give them a patch. I said, here's my out for my left and right. Can you
Right.
plug that in?
Yeah.
And sometimes they would do it. And one time I had a guy that we played at the Masquerade down in Atlanta. And he was the first guy who, my mic's a bit hot there. He was the first guy that looked at my rig and he says, I got you. He knew what I was doing. So he mic'd me up proper. That was the best sounding show that we ever did. Man, he had it spot on. He knew what he was doing. He even offered me a job. He was like, man, I run a studio. And he says, I'd like for you to come in and show these guitar players, what you're doing and the different things that you can do. There were some other things that he had talked about. There was a band that he was working with, and he was wanting me to come in and help with that. But anyway, regardless, he had me dialed in that night, and that was the best that we ever sounded. You get somebody that knows what they're doing. But
Yeah.
most of the places that we played, they're like, really?
Yeah. what is this?
Yeah. Andy says the tone is thick. Stephen Franklin's still here, hanging out. Let's see. Jimmy Ray Hawkins says, unless you like that, much respect to you. I was a young adult of the glam metal scene back in the 80s. Let's see. Randy Price, I've been just taking my 6505 MH and running it direct to the board and using my EVH 212 for stage volume. I hate in-ears. Wedges or give me death.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, I heard this earlier. Pete Thorne was saying the difference between now and then the pedal should be through. Well, I think he was talking about the price of the original SDE 3000s back in the day. I think I may be incorrect, but I think he was saying that the cost of that rack unit was $1,299 back then, which would have been $3,000 something now for one of them. And you basically, I think he said there's 4 of them, or the circuitry for what 4 of them could do in the new pedal. And you get all that for $600. So,
Yeah.
yep. Andy, you've been to the Masquerade. Yeah, cool venue. Miss playing the old Masquerade. Yeah. The old Masquerade, I think, is where I had played, and I think they've moved since then. When I was there, it was I think they still do like the heaven, hell, and purgatory or whatever it is. And then they had the big outside field area on that left side. Oh, really? New place sounds terrible. I haven't been there. Okay, the old one's turned into yuppie apartments now. Super lame.
Gentrified.
Yeah. And Guitar Man, again, is letting everyone know that, yes, he has one pre-ordered.
Did you get your H90, Bo?
That's what I said.
Yeah, I don't think
Yeah, he never answered that question.
he would have been telling everyone.
I
Maybe
think
he
I've asked him
canceled
in
the
3
order.
separate chats.
Yeah. Well, gentlemen, you got anything else?
I got nothing.
You got nothing? You tapped out?
Nothing
I
pressing.
got nothing.
I got a roast on the smoker that needs some spritzing.
Is Rob Blackmore still in the chat? I thought maybe he was going to jump in. He had something for us. I guess he couldn't stick around.
Was he here?
Yeah, he was here earlier. He was chatting
okay.
out. Yeah. Let's see. James G. Gotta go. Peace, everyone. See you, James. Thanks for joining in.
Hey, brother.
Sorry. Charles says, thank you for the shout out. Yeah, absolutely, man. Trying to help everybody out. Jimmy Ray Hawkins is wanting a jam. We could do a latency jam. It would sound terrible.
Horrible. You tried already.
We've tried it. It just doesn't work. You know, I went looking for maybe some electronic drums to stick over here in the corner. You can spend a lot of money on that kind of stuff, man. You know, and it's one of those where it's like, you know, I just need something simple. I'd like to put down a beat. And then you sit down and you play on it, and it literally is like, you know, you're hitting a Frisbee or something. It's like, you know, a toy. So you're like, well, show me something a little bit better. So you start going up and, you know, and then I end up on this kit and I'm like, man, this feels great. This, I think, you know, and I'm not a drummer, you know, but I can tell what's a little more quality. I'm like, how much is this set? And dude's like $3,800.
I was just gonna say about $4,000.
I'm like, oh man, let me get out of here. Yeah. So I don't know. Let's see. Randy is talking about the Masquerade is in underground Atlanta, moved in 2018. Still has Heaven, Hell, and Purgatory, but not the same building. New place is all brick and concrete. Acoustics are non-existent. Yeah. Yeah, the old place, you know, I'd been there a few times to hear bands and have played there a couple times. And, yeah, the old place was a good spot. I meant for all of you to do a jam. Yeah. Yeah, it wouldn't sound good.
Peace, Andy.
Andy's got a split. We'll see you. Have a good one.
See you, bud.
Jimmy says, I get the latency thing and issues therein. Herbifire, yeah, Easy Drummer 3. I've heard of that. I may look into that a little bit more. My main thing is, do you just set it and it just plays a basic beat, or how difficult is it to go in there and put your fills in that you want? Yeah, I'm just not all into that kind of stuff. I just want to plug in and jam on the guitar and then, you know, somebody else take care of drums. But I was thinking of maybe getting an electronic set and then finding a drummer and like, hey, come over here and, you know, lay me down a track or something.
There you go.
So
even if you had to actually hire a guy for come over for, you know, a couple few hours, and you let him know what you want and you can lay it down. You can.
Yeah.
Just have a drummer like Ben has at the end of his show. Sometimes a guy with the mask on his head. He's your gimp you keep in the corner.
Take him down off the wall.
Play something, buddy.
Doesn't Ola England used to jam with somebody who used to play with, you know, wear a mask. It's a drummer. Collaborated with. Let's see if I can find that.
Yeah, let me do another little jam before we head out of here. I don't know. I'll just play some riffs or something, make some noise. How about that?
Sounds good.
There we go. The wall of tone. So
Nice.
I think that's going to wrap it up for today, guys. Get a little exit going here. Let's see. Hi, there we go. How about that lick I was just playing? We'll use that for a little exit today. All right, so appreciate everybody coming out. R2, R3, thanks for jumping in as always. Trev,
Thank you, brother.
John, thank you for hanging out.
Here, man.
The hangover show.
R2, maybe we'll get that stuff figured out for his guitar so he can start playing with us.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna download that software.
Cool.
Get a roadcaster.
Yeah, that's all you need. That's all you need. Ronald Young, we'll see you. Thanks for coming out. Charles 75, Dennis Ellis, Herbifire Studio. Thanks for stopping in. Steve Franklin, Hit Metalworks. As always, good to have you here. Patty Dill, of course. Patty is a regular here. We always appreciate seeing Patty. Randy Price, Sandy Carson, all you guys. Trying to catch you here at the end. Jimmy Ray, James G, Guitar Man 45. All of you, appreciate you coming out. We will probably be back again for Trans Trim Thursday. John, you want to hang out Thursday a little bit? Or are you still doing the fencing thing?
Fencing thing.
All right.
I would like to, though.
Let's see. Herbifire Studio says, scroll up and hit that link. Let me know what you think.
You can't post links in the chat if you're not a mod.
Yeah.
Or you're not even being
It may not even be here.
You can send it to the email address.
Yeah, send it to my email. Let me put my email in the chat here for you. Anyone to yt@gmail.com. There we go. ou812yt@gmail.com. Just send me the link there. I'll check it out and let you know what you think. But everybody, thanks for coming out. We'll see everybody Thursday. Do a little Trans Trim jam. Ronald, Donald, and Patty, if you're still here, I have this on the bench, and I'm going to go through and do a little setup, something on it, and kind of set it up to my liking, and maybe we'll have that ready to do a little jam on it on Tuesday or Thursday or something like that. But it's over there on the bench, and I'm looking at it and kind of setting it up to how I like it. So maybe we'll see a little something with that on Thursday. So yeah, thanks for coming out, everybody. We will see you next time.